Hello, I'm Madeline Tynan from the Tynan Motor Group, and we're here to be empowered by Matt Harrison today from AFS Group. How are you?
Not too bad under the circumstances. How are you?
I'm really well today. I'm being empowered by so many wonderful people. I'm just, living on the edge. Living the dream, as they say.
Well, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space, aren't you?
That's exactly right. Now, Matt, we've done a lot of work together in all sorts of areas. But just for the people that don't know, you have three parts of your business. Can you just run us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main one, or our bread and butter, it's been running for about 30 years, is security, and that's all areas of security. We also deliver training, all sorts of workplace training, from first aid right through to mental health awareness, right through to fire emergency courses, and then we have tourism as well.
Right. So let's break it down then. Obviously, tourism. That has not been a lucky one in this environment.
No.
It's been hurt really badly.
Absolutely.
And I don't see that coming back quickly. So
No.
borders closed, New South Wales, overseas, everywhere. I don't see that coming back as quickly as other parts of the business would be coming back. Have you shelved that?
More or less we have. I mean, travel at the moment is whether you go and have a beer in the front yard or the backyard.
Okay, so then we move on to the second part of your business, which is security.
Yes.
Now, that's been a big part of your business, obviously.
Yes,
that
it has.
obviously is still running.
Yes.
But there would be a lot of people out there that would be hurting, that would be your clients.
Yeah.
How's that affected you?
Well, our major clients, unfortunately, deal mainly through strata companies, and they did a fantastic job when COVID-19 first started. Sent everyone home to work, which was great, really well done. However, they didn't give them authority to make payments from home. So we're struggling a little bit to get any payments done at the moment.
So is that changing? Are you seeing that starting to, like if people are working at home,
Yeah.
or is it that they just didn't have the remote computers to have the security to work from home?
I think it's just the access. So being able to make major payments, and some of them are fairly substantial every month, they're just not allowed to do it from home.
Right. Not just keeping the cash flow in their own business?
No.
Right.
A lot of that, particularly with strata, is in a fund, so it's already taken in advance.
Okay. Right. So just getting to that then, you in that part of the business, then we'll get to the third part of the business. In that, in the security, have you stood anyone down? Have you, in either of those, how have you dealt with the staff across that?
Well, it's actually an essential service, so we've increased our staff in security. Some of the office staff that normally would do other roles, who have security licences, we put them out on site. So it's actually been, if nothing else, busier in security.
So Matt, the third part of the business, can you just break that down for me and take me through it?
Okay, well, we deliver around about 100 different courses in workplace training. It's a very wide range, and I'm not going to bore everyone to death with exactly what it is. But essentially it dried up as soon as COVID-19 became a main problem or issue. Everybody stopped, everybody cancelled training, and for a 4 to 6 week period, we went from delivering around 15 courses a week to zero, which is a massive hit for any company. It is starting to slowly pick up. We've now been given authority to deliver training online, and it's still nationally accredited, which certainly makes life a bit easier. It's been quite interesting. So in the last week or so, it's picked up dramatically because there's a lot of other companies that just are not doing training. They refuse to do it. We'll still do it. We already had the cleaning measures in place. We took all the safety precautions anyway. All we've done is make them a little bit more obvious, I guess, for participants. So they're a lot more comfortable with what's going on. So we give them hand sanitizer, we have gloves, we have masks, we clean everything in between each person using it. We minimise the number of people in the group. We separate them further apart. But being able to deliver it a lot of online has made a huge difference.
So are you doing all of that online one-on-one, or is it in a classroom, or how are you doing that?
It can be done either way. So someone will register for a course, whatever they need to do, and it's still nationally accredited. They do all the online component themselves at their own pace. They contact us, and then depending on what the course is, we go through the practical with them.
Okay, so most of your courses have to be renewed every 12 months, am I right?
I'd say probably 60 to 70%, yes.
So if they're not at work, what happens with those courses if they're not kept up to date?
If they're not kept up to date, they're breaching compliance, and that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. So childcare, for example, there is no leeway. If their certificate expires, they can't work.
Yeah, so for OH&S, obviously.
Correct.
Right. So with that, you would then do it online,
Yep.
pass it over, and then anything that needed to be signed off, you could actually cite that. Can you do that via video link?
A lot of it we can, yes. What we've been doing with a lot of the childcare centres that we do repeat business with, they know us, so they'll do all of the online component, and then I'll go out and book a small room, and they come in one at a time and demonstrate their physical. So for CPR, for example, they would come in and do the compressions on the mannequin, the breaths, that sort of thing. I clean it, then the next person comes in.
Right. So in those three businesses, and obviously one part of them is still rocketing, but cash flow is hard.
Very.
What did you do to break it down and go, okay, that we're going in for hard times? Because it happened quite quickly. So when it happened like bang, bang. Each day was another hit in the guts to sort of go, what are we going to do? How did you break it down? Do you have a mentor, or do you go in and sit down and write it down yourself and go through it? What did you look towards to sort through the problems?
Well, to be honest, on top of all of that, we actually got our lease terminated at our office as well. So we had to move out. We had a 10-day notice. So I kind of had to work very fast under pressure. So it worked in our favour not having too much time to think.
Right.
So we just did. We reacted.
Right.
So we set up very quickly. So all of our staff have the ability to work from home now.
Right.
We closed down the main office, moved everything out. I've set up a home office, which a lot can be done. Considering we're not doing a lot of group training or face-to-face meetings, it's not such a big deal.
Right. And having 5 children at home, that's a whole different learning curve as well too.
Oh, absolutely. And look, to be honest, there's 5 main people in the office, and between us we've got 14 kids.
Right.
So the juggling act is real.
Right, exactly.
I've always been called a clown, but now I can juggle as well.
That's actually a really good point. Everyone's at home. Everyone's expected to still be doing their same jobs, but we're also expected to be teachers as well because the children aren't at school.
Yep.
How's that affected relationships and being able to talk? Like if you're looking one-on-one with a person when you're at a work office, you can pick up if something's happened at home, why aren't they performing?
Absolutely.
Do I need to pick up a bit for them while they're in this period? How are you coping with that, and how are you looking at your personalities that work for you?
It is changing day by day. Like one of our ladies in the office, her husband's a policeman, and his shifts are changing constantly. So her time needs to be flexible. So whenever he's at home and able to look after the kids, she's got 2 very young children, then she's jumping on and working from home. We're a big advocate of the deputy system. So it's like a rostering system. They can log on and log off, so they're not missing out on getting paid. If they've only got an hour to spend, they get paid for that hour.
And we skipped that mentoring program. Do you have a mentor, or do you have
I
your
don't.
account? Have you got a good accountant that you can work through things with, or?
No, just suck it and see.
Yep. So you knuckled down yourself.
Correct.
Reprogrammed your business
Yep.
to make it viable. Did you look at your cash flow and go, okay, let's talk to the bank early and deal with that problem straight off? A lot of businesses left it a little bit too late, and we can see that they're struggling in this community.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, everyone's been really good to deal with. It's very cliche because everyone's saying it, but we are all in it together, and most of the financial institutions we've dealt with, whether it be for leasing equipment or car finance or anything along those lines, have been really good as far as giving us relief. Even the ATO. I spoke to the lady at the ATO the other day and I said, you're going to give them a bad name, you're actually really easy to deal with. So they've been fantastic with everything they've done as well. So we did put as much on hold as we could. We streamlined it. People have voluntarily taken a cut in hours, mainly so that they can manage that whole workplace at home, manage the kids, make sure they're all happy and being taken care of. And that's the priority. I've always been a family-orientated business. So I've said to all of them from day one, family first, give me what time you got spare. Right. And that so far is working for us.
Right. So being in the community, you're entrenched in the community as well as your business, have you noticed a complete shift in that and people checking each other's back as far as business is concerned, not only family but in business?
I have, yeah. So there seems to be a lot more emphasis on local, and it's coming back to people are saying hello in the street. And ducking up the road to get something was just how quick can you do it in the past. Now it's ring the neighbour across the road, look, do you need anything? I'm going up. And vice versa, it's happening the other way around. They're going out rather than someone else make a trip, can I get you something? So, and I think that's reflecting over in business as well. We've actually picked up another few contracts, particularly in the security business, because there's a lot of people panicking and just not delivering on what they're supposed to do.
Well, a lot of places are shut down, so they
Yeah.
would definitely need security.
Well, what surprised me too is a lot of insurance policies have a clause in there that if the business is closed for a certain length of time,
Yes.
their insurance cover isn't
Yes.
Valid if they don't have a security presence.
Well, I do know too, large function centres that have actually asked for a reduction in their insurance policies because they don't have anything operating. So they've asked for those discounts coming back to them in their insurance policies. So, which is, you know, a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Have you taken advantage of any of the government funding that's been available?
Well, we've put in for it all, waiting to see how it's all going to play out. We haven't received any benefit as yet, but we're hopeful.
Good, because that's something that's really helping business prop up.
Yeah.
When you're looking at marketing your business in this situation versus not in this situation, what have you changed? What have you clinked up? How did they know to come to you getting more security, etc.? How did they know to what to do, and as far as courses are concerned, what's happening there?
Right. And again, it's changing day by day, but we've sort of taken the focus off trying to sell anything to giving people information. This is what we can do for you. If you want any of our services, great, but this is what we're doing for the community at the moment. So we've increased a little bit of our security presence around nursing homes and things like that, just to give them a little greater sense of safety. Not even our clients, we don't actually charge for it, but if it's on the way from one client to another, I've got the patrol guys going through and checking on different places, just to give that presence, I guess.
Are you keeping up your social media side of it as well too?
Yeah, we've actually increased it. But again, not so much trying to sell anything or push our services as such. Of course, there's always an underlying fact of that. You've got to do it, you're silly. But it's more community awareness and what's happening.
Okay, so how are you keeping yourself motivated to make sure that you're looking after your own self-awareness and your own mental health? How are you doing that to make sure that you're the best for yourself, so that each day you go in and you're attacking the business in a different light?
Well, there's two parts of that. One is, how do I motivate? Well, I've only got to look at 5 little faces and go, oh, I better feed them, so I've got to keep working. But how do I keep myself going? I'm actually just trying to take care of myself a little bit better. You've got time to think about things, so clear the head, go for a walk, just do a little bit of something for yourself, so you're of more value to other people.
Definitely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You've got to look after yourself, because you can't be a good leader unless you're healthy and your mind is straightforward and you can think clearly.
Absolutely.
Coming into it, you went in with a very strong a business that was, sort of fluid at this time.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, like everyone we've spoken to over the last lot of period in these empowerment talks. What will you take out of it, and what will you take forward as a business leader and a community leader when this is all over? What will you take out of it, and what have you learnt? And most of it we want to get rid of, but there must be some positives out of it that you can
absolutely.
use.
The main thing I'll take out of it is hope. All right. I hope that the community spirit, the camaraderie, continues once things go back to normal. Getting approached by people, can you help me? And when I'm in the position to be able to do that, help them. Is that going to be remembered later? Probably not, unfortunately.
I think it will, Matt.
Look, I hope it does.
I think the community has been extremely strong.
Yeah. Look, that's what I really hope comes out of all of this. So that, the people that stop and take a walk together, and, the couples you see holding hands walking around, I hope that keeps going. I hope I still see kids out in the street. I hope I still see people taking the time to find out about a business rather than just walking past it.
I think as community leaders and business leaders, we have to be strong, because we need to be around to sponsor, the local kids' soccer team, the old people's walk or the get-together, the football teams, the whole community that this Shire and St George are built around. We've lost our 2 football teams, we've lost our soccer teams, we've lost the netball. All of those community group things, have stopped.
Dance schools.
Dance, exactly. There's no dancing for the kids. There's all sorts of things that have actually stopped. But we've learnt to regroup and really appreciate our families and move forward, hopefully as better community leaders
Yeah.
into the future.
Yeah, the old adage of adapt and overcome.
And I
We
think
have to.
being a family business, you can be more fluid than
Yeah.
a bigger company. You know, you can move forward and move
Oh,
quickly, and obviously you're seeing the differences that have happened to your business.
Yep.
And we're all going to be here when this is all finished, bigger
That's the
and better
plan.
than before. We've still got a long way to go. I think
Yes.
there's some more hurt
Yeah.
for businesses ahead. But if we can keep more of these empowering and helping each other and letting other companies know we're here for each other, then I think we've got a pretty good community that we should be proud of.
Look, I absolutely agree with you, and I hope that more and more people get involved in what you're trying to do, because this makes such a difference.
So Matt, we've just talked about, you know, what can happen at the end of this. How, you know, you were saying before that you've got clients that you know they need you at
Yeah.
this particular time, and,
Yeah.
and financially they're struggling, you know, their shop's closed and they really need security around it because they've got a lot of equipment and which is
Yeah.
money in there. What would you say to that?
Look, if people are genuinely in a problem situation, talk to us. If we can help out, we will. We'll work out a payment plan. They can pay us later. They can pay us what they can afford. All right. But the main thing is keep your stuff safe. All right. Until this is over.
OH&S, same thing.
Absolutely. The compliance, there's not going to be any leeway on that. That's not my rules. That's the government, and it's going to be enforced. If something goes wrong and you haven't done the mandatory training or done the risk assessments or whatever it is that's required, they're not going to look at the fact that, well, sorry, you didn't have time because it was COVID-19.
And Maddie, where did they find you? The AFS group obviously is local. Where
Yep.
did they find you?
afsgroup.net.au.
And they can look you up there, just even to have a chat
Absolutely.
and talk through what their business are needing.
Please do.
Thanks very much, Matt.
My pleasure.